Welcome back, guys. Sharpen Your Sword Podcast, episode 56. Today we have the round table again with Ben Wynn and the number one co-host in the world, Giovanni Jimenez, guys.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Still recovering.
Where you recovering from, Ben?
Getting my back. Getting my back hurt from the tournament.
Okay.
They blew his back out, guys.
Hey, them Texas people ain't playing, bro.
So you did the Austin Open, right?
Yeah.
Austin Open at Blue Belch. What
Blue
number
Belch.
competition is this for you in this year?
14,
Number 14?
15,
15.
something like that.
Wow.
I ain't trying to let Mr. Johnny beat me. They say he's gonna do 19. I'm like, all right, let me do 20 then.
Has he
I was
done-
gonna tell him I was gonna stop around like September, but this man said I'm gonna compete in November, December. I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Guys, Mr. Johnny, we've had him on the podcast. Dude at his age, 58, I think he is, still out here grinding, competing. Nothing stops that guy, right? And that just says a lot about him. And if you listen to the story, it really shows. It says a lot about who he is, you know, and he's true to himself. And he's true to the belief in getting better. And so I respect him for that, you know, at 58 doing all that.
And he's still working
And he's still working.
on top of like 20 tournaments
And he's
and
still-
training.
And he's still submitting, Ben.
He wish he could.
All right, guys. What you want to say, Ben?
The only time he will ever submit me is when he's on top of me, waterboarding me.
All right, guys. Episode 56, the round table. We've been trying to get Ben on this episode for a while. He's been busy. We had his brother on the last round table. And so, guys, for everybody that has not maybe kept up with us or have not heard of round table, the round table is Giovanni has a whole bunch of questions, random questions, okay? Controversial, debatable, scandalous, whatever it is, okay? A lot of questions. And we're going to just give you what we think on these questions, okay, guys? And so, again, don't get your panties in a wad, right? What I think, what's my opinion, you don't have to like it. What's your opinion? I don't have to like it. What's your opinion? I don't have to like it. What Ben's opinion? I don't have to like it, okay? We're not going to cry about it, okay? We're not going to be politically correct, okay? We're going to just say what we think and have fun around the table today. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
All right, first of all, this is a good one. It's toxic masculinity, quote unquote, ruining men or helping them evolve. What do y'all think?
You know, I actually talked to some people. I've been a few times this week. I've actually talked to some people about this. Right? Toxic masculinity, if you ask me, has been created by them, whoever they are or them is. Okay, to break down the man, to weaken the man. Okay, and so they had to weaken the man to give more independence to the woman. You got feminism. You got independent women. Okay. This way they have more excuses to doing whatever they want to do without necessarily needing a man, right? And they don't have to obey a man. They don't have to respect a man. They can do whatever the hell they want. And if a man opens his mouth, he's toxic. If he says, hey, this is not how we do things, 1, 2, 3, he's toxic. That's what she's been raised to learn. She learned in society, whatever it is, even from her mom and dad, right, probably, is he ain't going to tell me what to do. So, and ask that question one more time.
Is toxic masculinity ruining men or helping them evolve?
And so, I think it's doing both. It depends on how you're taking it. It's ruining the man, right? Because I think a lot of men are afraid to speak up, are afraid to lay down the rules because they're afraid to being called toxic. Toxic. You have toxic masculinity. So many women use that. And so many women want a man until he does that, and then all of a sudden they don't want a man. When a man comes to lead, like, oh, damn, I'm not used to this. And so they take that as toxic masculinity, then they ruin the whole thing. Okay? That's one aspect of it. I think it is breaking down the man because they're afraid to say, hey, 1, 2, 3, this is how we do it. You like it or you don't like it, this is what we do. Now, the other side of it is I think it's helping men evolve, the ones that are aware, right? I was talking to some guys that are married, and they're like, well, she wants to be independent. She wants to do whatever she wants. She wants to have me time. She wants to be selfish. And we don't have a choice to be selfish. We have a wife. We have kids. We have to be there. And I told them, I said, well, it's 2025. That's what they know, right? And so a lot of these men are catching on that, okay, some of these women don't have kids. They're getting depressed. It's like a 90% rate when they get to 40. They regret. I heard this from one of my buddies. They regret not having kids.
Yeah.
Right? And so men, on the other hand, have to be strong, have to lead. That's what we've done our whole life since our existence. But now it's 2025. Our primal instincts are covered up. Society has broken down the roles of men, right? And so a lot of men are paying attention to this, and now they're evolving to become sharper. So they do lead, and they don't care what anybody got to say.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that what you call it? It's like toxic masculinity pretty much means like an example is telling a man like stop crying, stop being so emotional, right? And like if you tell a guy that, right, or like men don't cry, that's considered toxic. Like, well, that's you telling him to ignore his feelings and to not embrace him being himself, and right, and like how many men have been like emotionally walled off because they've been told to toughen up, for example, right? And I think honestly, in today's age, too many men have been told that like it's okay to cry or it's okay to be soft, or like they've been reinforced that it's okay to not be strong. And I think the problem is there. Like yeah, if you cry, it doesn't mean you're weak, but you shouldn't imagine like that one dude that we talked about, like he was crying because he had to do an 8-hour shift on Starbucks and it was busy, right? Like, are you going to validate him crying? Are you going to say that he's strong for crying? I know us personally, we wouldn't, right? But there's people that wouldn't. And also most times it's like women telling the men that.
He's overstimulated.
And it's women telling the man that, right? They was like it's okay to cry, right? They're like friends, right? But Jade, what if you see your man crying because he got to do an 8-hour shift? Are you still gonna respect him? You still gonna look at him the same way? Probably not. So stop trying to fucking make men soft, knowing you wouldn't want to be with a man like that. So you just hurting him. But I think it's overblown, like toxic masculinity. It just pretty much just comes down to telling men to be strong. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with telling men to be strong.
It's like they're overstepping their boundaries. Like certain traits, you would need to have. Like, a man should be a figure in the family, so you need to be viewed as a strong man, and you don't want to see an emotional man, right? But then again, you don't want a man that shut off his emotion and don't know how to handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, it can harm men if people keep on saying, "Oh, it's toxic masculinity," when we just shit on people with the trait. Whereas it can also involve men. It's like, hey, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily cut off your emotion, like you're saying, but you need to know how to be aware of it, and two, know how to control it, right? And that's where we can evolve. I see.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the problem also is like women, like they were in toxic relationships, and then and it kind of like the dude was either like, I'm the man and you gotta fucking shut up and listen. And I think a lot of times that's kind of like what they talk about too, right? Where it's like, where the guy like, it's like they don't want him to lead. They want him to like ask permission, They're like, it's a 50-50. So if you're in a 50-50, like you're in a business and it's split 50-50, you can't just make your own decisions without consulting the other person, That's kind of like that. You're being an asshole. You're not taking me into consideration. So I think that's their argument. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think, yeah, you need to compromise on things, and you need to, like, okay, I'm going to go do this, right? How do you perceive that? People would look like, well, you're asking for permission, right? It's not I'm asking for permission. I'm just letting her know I'm going to go do this. Just like I expect her to tell me, hey, I'm going to go do this. Or can I go do this? She's not saying, can I go do this necessarily for permission. She's saying this really to just let me know, hey, I'm going to go do this. Because if you have a good woman, she's not going to ask you to do something that she knows that you're not down to do, that you're not going to approve. And so we don't have the maturity level. Emotional maturity is something that a lot of people lack, is to put ego and pride aside and just talk. And at the end of the day, guess what? What is the man's job to say? Guess what? You're not going to do that. That's what his job is. Some instances is you're not going to do that. Simple, plain and simple. You're not doing that. Mm-hmm. Now that's looked at as toxic. It is what it is. That's not toxic. That's his job to protect her, whether she sees it or not. Right now, he's gonna probably need to explain it to her or teach her about it. But hey, you're not going to do this. Simple. Right? I don't have to ask for everything I'm going to do as a man, but it would be good to talk about it.
100%. I think it all comes down to
You're
communication.
gonna get some fire for that.
I'm sure I am, but that's just the way how I roll. It's 2025. I don't need their approval on. This is just how I am. Okay? And so not everybody has to be that way. I think the whole completely even down the middle thing it's not supposed to be even all the way down the middle, right? There's both. You have to understand each other's boundaries. You have to understand your morals and your characters and who you guys are. Now, if you are more separate, if there's a bigger separation between you guys, guess what? You're gonna have more of these issues occur if you have a lot of differences. But if you understand the same morals, you agree on the character, the morals, the boundaries, everything. You won't have to explain every damn little thing. Like, hey, you're not going out like that. Some girls literally make videos on social media like, my man told me not to go out like this. I'm pissed. I'm not going out no more. And they're like, girl, don't listen to him. He's toxic. And she going out, her titties are out and her ass is out. And we ain't talking about that. There ain't nothing to talk about. The only thing we're talking about is you're not going out like that. And the second thing is, if you're going to keep going like that, you're not going to be with me. It's that simple.
You think it will be the man's fault because they choose that type of woman?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you end up in a situation where the differences are bigger, you're going to end up with those problems.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, if you have a girl and for whatever reason she decided to put on something that's a little bit more revealing, and you told her like, hell no, you ain't going out like that. These days, you get chewed out for it.
Well, yeah, that's considered toxic. Like, because why are you trying to control her?
Exactly.
Or you insecure? Why are you being insecure, bro? Why can't you be confident that she's still yours? You know, that she's still only going to be with you.
She ain't mine if everybody's looking at her, first of all, or she's showing it. She don't believe she's mine if she's showing it to everybody, right? And she ain't mine if everybody's looking, right? And she don't obviously respect. First of all, she don't respect herself, right? And it depends on your level of what is the word I'm looking for?
Tolerance.
Your level of modesty, right? Some girls are gonna walk out with booty shorts, and that's fine for her and her husband. Some husbands go out and like, look at my girl's ass. That's normal. That's the time we live in. But some guys are gonna be like, absolutely not. That's not how we're rolling. Whether you like it or not. And if you think it's toxic, go find the next guy. Go find the next guy that when shit hits the fan, he's gonna wallow in his tears. When somebody, like one of my buddies said, when you hear noise at night, he ain't gonna get up out of the bed. She gonna go get up. You go get up out of the bed. Why am I gonna get up out of the bed? Shit, you wanna be independent. You know what I mean? Then that's what you're gonna end up with. You're gonna end up with you providing for the family. And I do understand that 2 household incomes is needed these days, but then you're gonna be the sole provider, not him. He doesn't have to protect and lead and provide for the family. So you go do it.
Yeah.
The man's job is to protect the wife, the family, from everything. Not just from a bear, but from society, from the temptations of this world, from what society says is right and is actually wrong. Okay? Like revealing a body, going out and partying and doing all this while you're married, talking to all these guys. Oh, it's toxic if you're worried about her hanging out with a bunch of guys. What you mean? That's all normal these days.
I think they just use toxic on like anything.
These days they do.
It's just like it's not even toxic. It's not toxic masculinity when that's your different values and principles. If I have certain values and principles and I don't want my significant other to act a certain way, that's just me. Why does it have to be toxic? If you don't like or follow what I do or value, then why are you with me in the first place? And it's usually, I would say it's both parties' fault, really, because I pick a woman that has not aligned with my principle, and she chose to be with me for not following my principle, right? So I see it's both party fault. But people are just like, oh, he doesn't let you do this, it's toxic. No, it's just what I value. If you don't like that, then don't. They just throw toxic masculinity on anything, and that's not what the word mean.
Yeah. I think also like it's
Or the phrase.
I think they're also outside of the relations, right? Where the women, like that's the women's perspective, right? To see men as undesirable. But it's also, the reason is men, so that makes women think men are undesirable. And then the men consider that, oh, if I do that, that's equivalent to like me smelling bad, right? So obviously I don't want to be like that because I don't want to be undesirable. But it's like they want to make you undesirable because they don't want you to be strong. Because who are they calling toxic males, right? They calling people like your story, right? Like you one time you went off on Ricky, right? How I need to do better for himself, right? That could be considered toxic in the modern age, right? That's toxic. Why are you talking to your brother like that? Why are you going off on him like that?
Yeah.
Right? You were just trying to help him be better. Right? So what was the outcome? The outcome is he became a better person, right? But if you were never like that, if you just reassured them and like, hey, it's okay for you to be like that, you know, and you're in your I don't give a F era or whatever, right? You're in your chilling era. Then who knows what could happen, right? But a motivation, you motivate him, you pushing him as your brother, as his older brother, like that's good. Men need that, right? Men need that push. But when people do that, that's considered toxic. When you tell men to stop being weak, that's considered toxic. When you tell them to stop whining and crying and accept the pain, that's considered toxic. But why is it considered toxic though? Because it's building strong men in this country, and the opposition doesn't want strong men because strong men, you know, you're in the military, but you gotta go to take out this building and it's full of a bunch of fighters. Damn, okay, it's gonna be tough.
I'm gonna start crying.
And well, then they tell you, oh, you know, it's filled with a bunch of with dudes with green hair color and they don't know the gender. How are you gonna think about it? It might be a little hard, but
I actually have a story about that. My staff sergeant at the time gave us a little story when we were talking about it, where they had to go through the building. It was point man. Dude just shut down. He didn't want to do it anymore. Oh, I don't know if he haven't done it yet or he did it already, that he just completely shut down, went back to the truck and just broke down. Yeah.
Oh, you're a Marine?
A Marine, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if he already did it, like to the point where it broke him because, or he haven't done it yet. But yeah, that's dangerous, man. Like, for you to like break down when you're about your mid-mission, it's like dangerous for the people left and right to you.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, I saw a story, right, of this one guy, like this training that they do in the military. That pretty much, it was like, you know, like you ring the bell, right? I think it's buzz. And a bunch of military training, that's hard, right? And you can quit, right? And so we pull these guys out, and once they're all cozy, right? They're all cozy, and they got some food, right? And then they're like, you know what? I want to go back out there.
Yeah.
And there was like, well, there's a thing, like, you can have a change of mind, but you can't have a change of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was like, damn, that's crazy. It's, and there's things like that, right? Like, slowly how they erode away the man to make a weak man. Because quite frankly, if you break into a house, right? Like, think of it from this perspective, right? Not that I'm going to break into anybody's house, but if there's a woman in there compared to a man, who do you think is a bigger threat? What's the biggest level of threat? The man or the woman? Not to say there's not badass women out there, but more than likely the man is going to be more aggressive.
Infantry is mostly men. They have tried one time when I was in for a infantry unit for a woman. It doesn't work. They literally try the physical. I literally witnessed this where they put on equipments where we have to wear for men. Physical test, could not even jump over the wall. Finish the training. Like what you expect? The infantry job in the military is not made for women. Seriously, war is not made for women. And I'm a firm believer on that. And any woman who want to argue with me about that, by all means, go join a war. Go ahead. I mean, are you willing to do it? Are you capable of doing it? Sleeping in the trench? You know, women have so much, and even like hygiene wise, it's so easy for me to like go use the bathroom, stay clean. Right? It doesn't take much. But for a woman, it's a lot. You know what I mean? Not putting their business out there, but like that time of the month, they have to worry about their hormones changing. Like when I'm learning from Chris, when she's telling me, I'm like, dude, this is not sustainable out in the field where we have to stay out there for months, weeks. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, the bad guy's not going to stop. You know what I mean? And a lot of people blur the definition of toxic masculinity. And they just use it for anything. And they use it to make men soft. You know what I mean? And then and I think they use it so they can get more independence. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I think they overdid it. Now they're gonna pay the price.
Well, then now there's someone like the whole point of it was to break up the traditional family, husband, wife, kids.
Yeah, the traditional values.
You know what I mean? Now they're talking about to make women independent, whatnot. Now I saw something, I don't know the exact numbers, but the chance of these people getting married that are kids, that are young, of having kids, they don't want kids. It's just husband and wife. If it's husband and wife, which husband and wife is going away, it's
like freaking Japanese culture. They having a crisis right now where they're not like having babies or like even pushing for marriage for some odd reason.
Yeah,
they're struggling.
I think a lot of that is also like a lot of people don't want to have babies because, like, economically, people budget can barely afford to live, right? With 40 hours, right? But let's be real. Is everybody gonna work 40 hours? Not everybody's gonna be. The majority of people are not gonna want to work more than 40 hours, right?
What do you mean? Japanese people are freaking.
Well, I think Japanese people were like 45 maybe. Right, but that's their culture. The culture's harsh. And look at them. Look at the situation. Most people don't want to have babies, or they think they can't have babies because economically they can't afford them. Mm-hmm. I think that's all. Like, yeah, they did F it up, but also like economically, people don't want to have that. Well, I guess they consider it a burden. It's really a miracle. You know, it's a blessing to have kids. But people don't want to put that on themselves. You know, like they've now got to take care of a whole baby. Now they got things figured out. You know. So what do you think? I think the system is built that way.
I think they've created it that way. Because they can do whatever they want. Well, I'm going to finish it off with this, and we'll go to the next topic so people can think. They created feminism. They created toxic masculinity. They created renting market. They created not wanting to have kids. Why? Because of toxic masculinity and feminism. They created the hookup culture, right? So people are not getting married. Everybody's hooking up. They don't want to get married. They don't want to have kids, okay? They can't afford to have kids. They can't afford to have a house. And so they have a broken society. All these things, by the way, are leading to a collapse. If you look at any country, any collapse before, this is what happens, okay? And so people are not realizing this. They're just going through life and it is what it is, you know. But it's not it is what it is. You have to start paying attention on what's going on. All of this is BS. Now, most people can't afford to have multiple kids. It's sad. That's why some people don't want to have kids. But also some people don't want to have kids because they want to have fun and just hook up. And they can't keep a relationship because the more you hook up, the least connected you are to the next person. So you have that problem. Then you can't have a house. Then if you have kids, then you need a bigger house. You can't afford a house. You can't afford groceries, right? So this is all, if you ask me, by design, okay?
100%. So now, changing gears is another very controversial topic. What do you think about the whole, like, is mental health advocacy becoming an excuse for bad behavior? So pretty much, what do you think about the whole, like, mental health epidemic? Because a couple years ago, like 10 years ago, it was really not that heard of, right? Oh, like about mental health issues and bringing up men's mental health, right? And granted, men do struggle, right? And a lot of times men don't even voice it, right? But what do you think? But all of a sudden, it just like bursted into the scene. There's all these mental issues. There's all these mental disorders, and there's all these pills you can take for it too. And there's all this depression. There's all this anxiety. What do you think about? What do you guys think about all the is out of nowhere the explosion in depression and anxiety and just mental issues that people are seeing nowadays? Like, do you think it's like it was like fabricated, or do you think like it is true? Do you think it is true, but something is causing it? What do you think is causing it, or is it all just by design, so Big Pharma can make more money selling pills?
It could be, but I think it's both. But honestly, I'm glad that, I believe that mental health is the biggest issue. A lot of people struggle with mental health and not even realize it. Believe it or not, even most men who you think is strong, you know, I can say they may even have an ego to admit that they even have mental health issue. In my opinion, I'm glad that mental health issues are being more aware and addressed. Right, but how they're doing about it and making it better by giving us pills, I think that's wrong. Right. One thing I live by is that when you have a problem and you don't see it yourself, you have other people see it, tell you about it. It's accepted, right? Accept that you have that problem, right? You just have to accept that there's a mental health issue that's going on, and then what we can do about it. You know what I mean? The cure for mental health for me would do is like taking care of yourself is the biggest way. I think there's some form of issue that I have, some trauma maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not a psychiatrist, right? But I speak to it when I was at a VA.
Was it an uncle? I was just playing.
When I was speaking, and I'm not a firm believer on like therapy or anything like that, but I do believe they do help if you use it.
Yeah, my
brother used it. He swear by it. I personally don't use it because I don't think I need it as badly, right? But I thought it was really useless until I went to a VA disability CP exam, and I talked to a psychiatrist. And as she was talking to me, she said something, and I just start purring. I didn't cry. I'm like expressing. She just, the way she said something, like she understood what I was saying, and then helped me walk through not trauma, but the things that I experienced. And I was like, damn. Yeah. So they those people actually know how to like say and trigger you to like really release that experience that you had, right? So I do believe like a lot of mental issue do happen. It just nowadays with technology and social media, it's just more aware. Like it's throughout history, like homosexual people, we have more homosexual being more open outside in the 21st century. Dude, it's been happening since the beginning of time.
Yeah,
kings who's been sleeping with men. So it's not new. It's not unheard of. It's just people are being more aware. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was always there. The problems was always there. It's just when the spotlight hits it, really.
There was too much shine on it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Muhammad?
I think it's a mix, like Ben said. I think part of it is we don't have men. I think part of it, society is creating this mental health. I think Big Pharma is winning the battle. And I think we got these weak men that need an excuse, so they label themselves for something. Okay, that's what I personally think.
Do you think it's also like a victim problem?
I think it's victim mentality. Because something happens, you just label yourself, oh, I got this. I can't do this because I got this. Hey, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? You don't have, like, what's wrong with you is you're being a pussy. That's what's wrong with you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like.
Maybe you're being toxic.
People might say that, but the truth is, part of it, honestly, now some people do need it. I'm not denying this. But the majority of them don't need it. It's just bullshit, man. Like, what happened is, and this is what drives me nuts, and people are going to pay the price, okay? And I've talked about it on the podcast day in and day out. People are going to pay the price. When you don't go after your dreams, F your goals. When you don't go after your dreams, okay, and you realize that you do not go after your dreams, and you realize you're running out of time, and you realize you quit, and you realize you settled, and you realize you listen to society and the people around you, and you never went after what you wanted, that's when mental health goes crazy. You go nuts in your own head because you realize you pissed away 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you have nothing to show for it. You have nothing to show for it. That's where mental health comes from. That's where it comes from lack of fulfillment, from lack of joy. That's where most of our health issues come from. If you are a man, put your hand in the dirt and work and see how you feel after you work. Just get your ass off the couch and go to work. Be in your head right now. Be on a potato. Be a couch potato. Rotten in your head. Get off the couch and go for a walk. Get off the couch and lift some weights. Get off the couch, go do some work. And see how you feel. All of a sudden, boom, it's gone. So what does that tell you? You don't need a damn pill. It tells you you don't have the balls and you're not sharp enough to do something about it. And so you're caving and you're losing this battle in life. Because society broke you down. Because Instagram broke you down. Because Snapchat broke you down. Because the music, the food, everything. You're at war with everything and you're losing the war. All of this everything that we are, everything that we're going through is a temporary life. And because we enjoy this life more than anything, we struggle to it. Because we're looking for pleasure. We're looking for enjoyment. But we're not willing to work for the passion, for the joy. That's why we have a mental health issue. Now, if you had trauma, quote unquote, whatever it is, you got something happened to you, we get it. Something happened to you. Okay? But this whole thing that we're going to just throw mental health on everybody, that's BS. Yeah. I think that's bigger of a crutch than telling them, hey, it's time to man the F up. You are not doing what you got to do. That's why you feel that way. You can't even work 40 hours a week. You can't put in 40 hours in 7 days. What does that say about you? You have no capacity. You have no physical. You need physical. Back then, they didn't have time to sit on the damn couch and think about, oh my gosh, I'm in my feelings. My mental health is so bad. No, bro, get up. You gotta go kill that elk. You gotta go kill that deer. You gotta kill that person that's trying to kill your family, trying to hurt your family, trying to take their food. That's what you're worried about. You're worried about survival. You're worried about the next day. You're working for it. You had to plow the fields. You had to go get the water. Everything was work. And we did not have all these distractions. Yeah, was there distractions back in the day? Yeah, there was. There always would be distractions. But was it your phone? Boom, scroll, big booty, oh, naked girls, bam, 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 bad music, non-stop, right? Fuzzing girls, guys not staying loyal, right?
Yeah.
All of this is from society. Everybody lost. They're weak because of society. Because of the devil at the end of the day. That's why they're weak. And when they're weak, that's when they lose. Because they do the bad things. They do the negative things. And at the end of the day, they don't blame the actions they took. They don't blame the actions they took. They blame the mistake. But it's your mistake. You made it.
Yeah.
They can't man up. So they put it on mental health.
100%. There was this image I saw last night, right? It's this guy. He's in his couch. And he has junk food all around him, right? He has a bottle of liquor next to him. He's watching the TV. He's playing his video game on his couch. And he has the devil right here, sitting on it. And it's actually like a chubby devil, right? Sitting on his on his shoulder. And then it says, a man who lacks purpose distracts himself with pleasure. And so, at the end of the day, your pleasure only takes you so far. It's only momentary highs. Somewhere down the line, the high is going to wear off. And they're only going to be you left with the life you created. And that's like you said, people will see the life they've created. Like, damn, I haven't actually created anything. All I have done in this world is consume. Consume what they fed me, what the media's fed to my head. Consume the trash food. Consume video games, right? And I have built nothing. I have achieved nothing. Not a gold medal, not a worthwhile relationship, not a skill set, not anything to be proud of. So how are you gonna feel when you've been in this world for 20 plus years and you have nothing to show, nothing for you to be proud of, no purpose? How are you not gonna be depressed?
So don't fall for their trap. That's what it is. They're using all this excuse. Oh, you're being toxic, making men weak. Where all you gotta do is work on yourself, find a purpose, work for something, find something worth meanwhile in your life, and that's how you defeat depression, mental health issue. Don't fall for the trap. Oh, you need help here. These pills will help. I'm telling you, nothing is a better high than bettering yourself.
100%. What's your best way of bettering yourself?
The greatest, hands down, you guys may agree, the greatest tool, and I will advocate this, is jiu-jitsu. I know we're all jiu-jitsu practitioner, but I'm pretty athletic. I play sports. I was in the military, whatever. So experienced a lot of different ways, different tools to like really better yourself. I was a bodybuilder, the gym. Nothing beats what jiu-jitsu gives to you. I said from years ago when we were doing some video that everything you learn in life, you can translate it over in jiu-jitsu or vice versa.
100%. I agree. And I think, do I think the mental health epidemic is real? I think to an extent, yes. I think the majority of people are unhappy. I was telling my girl yesterday, like, do you think the majority of people are happy? No, they're not happy. Like, how many people hate their jobs? Right? Especially the majority of people hate their job. And how many people live in paycheck to paycheck? The majority of people. So the majority of people hate the job and they don't make enough money to want to go do what they want to do, at least take a vacation or whatever. Not as much as they want to. And then, so they're working this job they hate. They don't have money left over at least to enjoy the finer things in life. How are you not going to be depressed? And you see on social media, all you see on social media is other people balling, people your age winning, right? And now you're comparing. Now you feel more like shit, right? And everybody's flexing stuff that they're paying monthly on, right? They're flexing a car that they got to pay for like 8 years, $1,000 a month, right? So it's like you're comparing. Your job sucks. You don't got enough money to buy what you want to buy. So I think generally the majority of the population is depressed and is unhappy. And the majority of men that subscribe to OnlyFans are actually married men. Remember we talked about that? Majority are married men. Really? Think about it, you got your own wife and you're subscribed to OnlyFans. So it might be the wife not giving it up, right? Maybe she's fucked in the head too. But why? Or it might be you, Virgin. You're not. True. You don't attract.
They give me does. So you know what I'm saying?
Or maybe the man is so soft that he doesn't attract. His wife doesn't find him attractive. It could be a plethora of things, but all this comes back to the war that's being waged on people's minds. I believe 100%. And when you pay attention, there's war being waged by an evil entity in this world to F you in the brain.
You know what's funny though? Like some third world country, the happiest people is like people who have little.
Almost all of them, bro.
It's crazy.
Almost all of them.
You think it's just like American culture?
Well, it's American culture because we have so much. I tell people all the time, you live in America, you have a lot, bro. You know, you have a lot. And some of the richest people, why are they committing suicide? Depression, right? It doesn't matter what you have, it's what's in your mind. How's your mind, right? In some countries where they have nothing. I'm from Palestine, right? I go to Palestine and I go to these small villages, small towns. They have nothing. They have nothing. 4-year-old kid has nothing. Tore up shoes, tore up shirt, tore up pants. The biggest smile on his face. No iPad, no iPhone, nothing. Nothing, bro. And it's the happiest kid. These kids right now, I see them, 4 years old, 5-year-old, they have to have a brand new iPad.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the iPad, they're not happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so part of it is our society. Our society has created it, right? Social media has created it. OnlyFans, porn, music, TV, even on TV. But go back and watch some of these shows on Disney and stuff. The crazy stuff that you see on like what they're teaching kids or on YouTube Kids, right?
Yeah.
They're teaching them how to be a cat, how to be a fudging horse, how to gallop like a horse.
You saw one of the videos how people are like faking that they're animals. Faking that they're animals.
Yeah, that's becoming normal, bro. Some of the high schools here, they have cats.
What do you mean, like cats? Like people cat?
Yeah, they identify as cats.
How you know?
Some of the cops told me. I'm dead serious.
Really?
I'm dead serious, bro.
Oh shoot, that's funny. People just want to express themselves, bro. Sometimes I feel like I'm a unicorn. What's wrong with that?
You unicorn, where's that thing coming out your forehead?
That's what is that thing?
I don't know what you call it. I think a Pegasus is better than unicorn.
Wait, this is another topic, a pretty good one. Do martial art push for domestic violence? I've been seeing a lot of boxers, MMA, been hitting their wives.
So I went down this talking to somebody.
And I was like, dude, is this actually...
So a while ago, I was talking to somebody. So you got fighters and you have martial artists. There's a difference, okay? People put them all in the same thing. You can be a fighter and you can be a martial artist, right? You can be a martial artist, but not necessarily be a fighter. Okay, that's what my 2 cents on. So these guys, when you're a martial artist, you are like the samurai. You are in line with your spirit, with your conscience, with your mind, and with your discipline, with your respect, with pride, with honor. And so if you are a martial artist and you're aligned with that, then you understand that you can't abuse your partner, your wife. Right? Because there's no honor in that, there's no pride in that, there's no respect in that. So you take out 3 of the most important things in martial arts right away. Now, fighters on the other side, what they are is they're fighters. Some of these guys are effed in the head. That's why they're fighters. You know what I mean? And so people look at fighters like they're martial artists. That doesn't mean they're martial artists. They are a fighter. And so a lot of these guys, the truth is when you fight other demons. I go through 2 months, 3 months training with darkness to fight one guy that's going to try to take me out. We're going to get locked in a cage, right? We're going to get locked in a cage and we're going to fight. We're going to hit each other. I'm going to punch him in his head. I'm going to punch him in his face. I'm going to try to hurt this guy. And so this mindset, if you don't know how to control it, it can lead down a different path.
Yeah.
And then when you have money and fame on top of that, and then you're getting punched in the head, CTE, brain damage, then you're fighting these demons, and then you have this tough man mindset, you don't necessarily have respect, pride, and honor. And necessarily you don't have control. You have a temper. You lose it, you hit, you fight. Right? And so a lot of these guys can't be both. Some of these guys are just fighters.
You know what I see differently though? That's lacking. That may need to be added in the MMA world. Is that I see a lot of fighting coaches, but I never see a lot of mental coach. And jiu-jitsu, we have that.
Yeah. So in MMA, some of the guys are starting to bring them. Right? And again, this is a new thing. Why is it a new thing? Because nobody really knew the power of the mind.
Yeah.
Right? And I think what exposed it, like Jordan had a coach, Tim Grover, right? That helped him a lot with that. LeBron, Kobe had him, Tim Grover.
Oh yeah.
You know, relentless.
Oh no, he was basically the trainer though.
He was, but he also spoke a lot of the mind. A lot of the mind, right? So he probably wasn't a mental health coach or mindset coach. They call him mindset coaches now. Is they didn't realize the power of the mind and how you can alter the mind to make you more successful. Right? Tweaking the mind. And so some of these fighters are just tough guys. Right? And so they just use their toughness and their grittiness and their mindset to get them through a fight. But why not have the extra push and rewire some of the thought processes instead of just being tough, of looking at it and having gratitude? Because gratitude expands the mind, expands you. So it makes you perform better. It takes the pressure off of you, right? And so
ground you.
It ground you, you know. So a lot of these fighters, because they didn't rely on the mindset of rewiring how to perform better. It was just relying on the fighter mindset, which is, I'm tough, I can do this, and I'm gonna hurt you, and I'm gonna beat you. That was their mindset. Now, jiu-jitsu came from a tactical. It's a tactician. It's technical. Mm-hmm. So you want to come at it from a different angle. It's not fire versus fire in jiu-jitsu, right? Is more guys, and I believe jiu-jitsu also, some of the most successful mindset coaches and some of the guys that know so much about mindset are jiu-jitsu black belts. Because jiu-jitsu will teach you about the mind. Because when you're down under somebody, you have all these thoughts. Or when you go home, you're like, man, I quit. Mm-hmm. And so next time you go, like, I'm not going to quit. You rewire your thought like, hey, I'm not going to quit. I am okay. Mm-hmm. And so just rewiring this thing gives you a different insight than the normal human being that can't say I'm okay. Yeah. So I think the jiu-jitsu black belts, because it was hands-on experience, whether we knew it or not, we learned the mindset a little bit faster than fighters.
And here's why jiu-jitsu is also a great tool. Everybody can learn. Everybody can learn from a situation they experience. For example, being a cop. Oh, why do I need to know how to manhandle somebody when I do it in my job already? True. How many times you would experience that in your job? Once, maybe twice in a year. Whereas jiu-jitsu, you can do it every single day, and you get better every single day by doing that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's a great tool, and that's why everything that we do in our life, like you said, even being a fighter, is that we experience mentally not a lot of mental toughness. That will challenge us mentally, right? That's why jiu-jitsu is a great tool, because we endure mental toughness every single day by having a man on top of us questioning if we're able to get out or not. Because we put ourselves in that situation. It's a great tool. Yeah. But I didn't realize like martial artist and a fighter is two separate things. And I feel like if you really are a true, a strong, tough guy, you should be able to turn it off, on and off.
Yeah. And I think the best mix is the both. Mm-hmm. Being a martial artist that can be a fighter, right? Is a martial artist is somebody that trains every day because that's his way of life. The samurai, that's his way of life, mm-hmm. right? He's a martial artist, then he's a warrior. So because he's a martial artist, he's gonna train every day. It's his way of life: discipline, respect, pride, mm-hmm. honor. A fighter trains for a certain date, for a certain battle. Okay? But if you're a martial artist and you train every day, when that day comes, whether it's now, tomorrow, whether I know it's tomorrow or not, I'm ready because I trained. That makes sense?
That's true, but the thing I'm stuck on is like, would you want to be one or the other, or would you rather be both? Because which would be more...
You want to be both.
Yes.
You want to be a martial artist that can be a fighter.
Yes, okay.
But a fighter can't necessarily be a martial artist. Mm-hmm. He can be a fighter, but that doesn't mean he has the martial artist way of life. Mm-hmm. He can be a fighter. He's tough. He's gritty. But does he have the discipline, the respect, the honor? Does he train every day? A martial artist is somebody that's his career. That's his way of life.
You can tie a martial artist would be a person who has morals and values and principles, whereas fighters don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess you can compare it with gladiators, right? They're fighters, but they don't necessarily fight with honor or values.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, if you watch the UFC, you look at guys like GSP. It's very moral. I remember when I first talked to Mo, like the gym, right? He'd always talk about black belts, right? And he held black belts at a high standard. And it was like, as you realize, like, not every black belt is a good person, you know? Now, a black belt should be a role model, right? A model figure. Like, damn, that's a black belt. That's what a black belt is. He carries himself with respect. He helps people from the bottom up, builds people up. But as you train the martial art, you realize, like, not every black belt is actually, like, a martial artist black belt. There might just be a skill black belt, you know? And to me, that was, like, a big shocker, because the way you always talk about black belts, like, yeah, like, the black belt carries stuff like this, the black belt's like this, right? Then you encounter other black belts, it's like, damn, this fucking... I thought a black belt was supposed to be like morally above me in that home. Like, not to say morally above me, but carry yourself with more respect, more honor. Right. That's the way that they symbolize that. And I think, unfortunately, that's like as a sport, jiu-jitsu grows. Like what I just said, it's a sport. And I think that's the biggest thing between gi and no gi. No gi, those guys are more like a sport, jiu-jitsu, and they carry it more like that, and they treat it more like that. And jiu-jitsu is more the gi is more martial art in a way, you know, more respect, more discipline.
You know what I start noticing? I've been seeing a lot of people's like, why you're bowing, why you're doing this and this and this, like all the traditional things that came from jiu-jitsu. And I was like, dude,
came from martial arts.
Yeah,
know, in general.
Yeah, and it's like, and people are like, I'm gonna stop. I don't need a bow. And I was like, dude, this is American culture, bro. They're not taking away a value. Like people, I see the comments like arguing, like, dude, it's tradition. You just do it for respect. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, they're like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't need to go in there and bow every time I need to go to use the bathroom. I'm like, dude, you're not bowing every time you use the bathroom. You do bow when you come in late to class, or bow for the sign of respect of the professor or the coach. And I'm like, this is American culture. They're slowly just stripping away traditional values
of the martial arts.
Anything.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's just like, this is weird. Like, what's so hard just to bow? Or just to agree that this is a sense of respect? Why do you have to, like, I don't want to do this? And you know what it is? Because I used to be the same way. It's people hate being told what to do.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Too much ego. I like tradition, you know, like sumo wrestling. But everything about that is tradition. Literally tradition. Everything they do is tradition. To me, that's badass. I think.
You know what's scary?
There's beauty in tradition.
America is just now like sumo are like getting popular in America, and I just hope it doesn't affect the sumo traditional how they do it.
It will. It will.
I don't think so.
My thing is.
So you're gonna think that when everything in America is changing, and it's not gonna change that?
I don't know. We'll see, because the toughest competition, if they want to join, if they, let's say, it's just like, it's like you can create your own organization. America can have its own American sumo, but is it really prestigious? It's just like any, it's like jiu-jitsu tournaments here. New Breed, Naga, they have their own stuff, AGF, American made. But is it really prestigious compared to the Brazilian IBJJF? Just like Japanese sumo. All right? Heck no, they get demolished. They'll get demolished. So I don't think they'll. I don't think if America really want to team up with Japan sumo organization, they will have to like follow their tradition. If not, America. What I will see, America will create their own organization and make their own rule set and etc.
Yeah,
but it's not gonna be as big with Japan. It's just not.
I think just because the standard's higher. This is my thing.
We'll see, because money too. We never know. Money can buy people. So if America makes a lot more money, then maybe the sumo wrestlers in Japan may come over.
They will.
Well, this is
everybody wants to come to America.
My thing. How many likes do we need to get on this podcast for you to wear a sumo mawashi?
Me?
Yeah, the sumo quote-unquote diaper.
I'll shut the podcast down before I wear that.
How many likes, Coach? How many likes?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
You can't buy it.
Yes, you can, bro. Private room by yourself.
You would never catch me wearing the sumo thing. You don't matter how much money. Doesn't matter. I won't do it.
You know, that's what samurai used to train sumo.
I'm good for the samurai. I'll train like samurais with my gi.
That's funny. So what topic were we on?
We were talking about domestic violence.
Martial artists.
That's funny.
Let's get controversial, man. Let's get something riled up.
Do rich people owe society anything? Do rich people owe to give back to society? Like, should that come out of their own moral character, or should they feel obligated to have to pay back because they were able to make it and a lot of people aren't able to make it? Or should it be like, man, I've made it. I did it on my own accord. I didn't get no help. Right? So why am I indebted to help other people? What do you think?
I think from a religious perspective, faith, is help the needy. I think that's different. Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about just in general?
It could be you could have a religious perspective to it, or you could have a capitalism.
I think
everybody on their own.
I think from a religious perspective, it's your duty to help, right? It says it in your book, it says it in my book, right? Feed the needy, right? So if you got money, why not? But now from a socialist, I guess is the right term, right? Socialism. Just because I make all this money doesn't mean I have to share it with you. I worked my butt off. I don't necessarily owe you anything. Now, helping people is different, but owing you something is different too.
I should want to help people morally, not because I'm
because I have
obligated.
money. Yeah, and it's an obligation because you're rich. You're obligated to help people.
Yeah.
Because people that didn't make the money say that you shouldn't have that money. Why do you deserve all that money? Well, bro, I put in all that work. I made that money. I earned it.
It's like saying, it's levels to this shit. It's like Coach Mo richer than both of us, right? So I could be like, why you have all that money, cuz? And he can come around.
It's not true.
And he can come around and be like, why you have clothes on? You know what I mean? It's level. Like, be grateful for what you got. I work my butt off for this. You can do the same thing. You 100%. Work your butt off for the thing you have on.
100%. What do you guys consider rich? Like, what a dollar amount you like? That motherfucker rich. That is considered rich.
Like so my definition of what rich is, or like just.
What's your definition?
My definition of rich is being able to take care of that's like the most humble way, like being able to take care of your family. That's rich already.
So like 50K is rich to you?
Yeah.
No, like if you make it 50K, right?
I would change it, because for me, rich is what I want in life. But let's talk about wealth. Money. Monetarily.
Money wise, no number.
Materialistic. Yes. What's rich is Coach Mo. I'm gonna put you rich.
I'm not much ain't rich, bro.
What the hell's wrong with you?
No, I don't know. We have a person in our gym.
Don't name drop nobody. Bro.
I am not name dropping nobody.
but like what figure? Like 50 mil, 10 million? That's rich.
Being able to throw away 15K like it's $150. That's rich. If you're able to do that, you're rich.
I guess you gotta be multi-millionaire in that motherfucker.
No, you ain't multi-millionaire, bro. You're a multi-billionaire, bro.
I think, I think to be considered, in my opinion, if you're rich, right, like actual rich, not just like success, right, but like you're actually like, this dude's got money like that.
Wealthy is the term,
right? Well, you can flip them, depends on everybody, but I think you gotta have like 100 million up. Well, I'd say like 50 million up. I think you're rich, right? I think 50 mil, you like.
I'm gonna look something up. I'll remember a figure. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I think you have 50 million, even if you lose half of that, you're still very well off. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and that's what I'm saying. Like
50 million worth of asset, or like just cash.
I just say 50 million you have at your disposal, not just assets.
I mean, I guess. You can say $1 million rich.
But how fast can you blow through $1 million? I know what I can blow $1 million on quick. But you can just buy a house and you blew $1 million.
That's true. In California, you can buy like 2-3 houses in Memphis.
California, you get 3 cardboard boxes for $1 million.
That is true.
So, and I've heard this before. So if you want to do whatever you want, right? If you want to travel and have cars and have houses and whatnot, if you have like 10 million, 20 million, it's possible, right? And enjoy life. You don't necessarily have to worry about money. 10 million. But if you want to live like on a completely different level, you need like 50 million.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
But this is like luxurious living. Like, I mean, like completely like crazy living. And I don't even know, honestly, if I don't even want to live like that. I don't, like me personally, I don't want to live like that. To be honest with you.
Like the mega rich, the elite.
Like the mega rich. Like, because I don't want to be spending all my time at a fancy restaurant, spending $1,000 every time I go, $2,000. Because $1,000 gonna be like $100 to you at that point, right? But it's the fact of being in that fancy restaurant, spending $1,000, $2,000 on a meal. Instead, I can have my grass-fed steak off my farm and damn eggs for my chickens, right? And traveling every month to every few weeks, going somewhere. Instead, I can be at home with my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's just a damn job to be rich, honestly.
To each his own, but to be honest, those people, they don't like, at that point, you don't have like a responsibility. At least if you have a business, you've laid back from the business where you don't have that responsibility to be working. But then again, how long can you do that before it starts getting old? Again, you need a purpose. You know, the pleasure will get old. It's your purpose that keeps you alive, you know? But you know, that keeps you driven. And I agree.
Exactly. So my question is that, what are you working for? You're wasting so much time building this capital. At what cost? To get rich at what level? And you just sacrifice all this time with your family, and you just not gonna go live a lifestyle where you want to work.
Okay.
I can get by with 50K while still
No,
spending.
you can't.
Okay, hypothetically, I'm just giving a number. Okay, 100K. I'm just giving a number. I can get by with the 100K, 50K, and then still be able to make the memories and spend time with my family and not work as hard. Live a purposeful life with the memories that I cherish, or with the things that I cherish. So why am I working hard? Why am I working 90?
I'll tell you why. This is my perspective. I do like your
You know where I'm going from?
the way you're coming from, you know what I'm saying? Because you texted me this weekend, we were texting. You FaceTime me, and I knew if you FaceTime me, you won the tournament, right? I already knew.
No,
And coach, I lost. And I'm like, bro, quit lying. He showed me the damn goal.
Probably had to smirk the whole time.
Right?
No, I was
He was just trying to be the sad puppy. But we hung up, and he texted me. I texted him, and he said, Coach, I wish you were here with me. Something along those lines. I wish you were on this journey with me. And I said, one day I hope to be able to do it, right? And it was that moment. It made me. I actually thought about it since Saturday. It's like you're in a position where you can travel and compete. I'm in a position where I'm deciding to work, because what I do today is gonna create my life tomorrow. That's what I believe. And so your question is pretty much, this is directed at me. Why are you working all the time? Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna just answer it the way I will if somebody asks me. Is okay in 2020, 100,000 to 2025. That same 100,000, for it to be equivalent, you need 125,000. Now I don't know how accurate this math is. I read this the other day. That's in 5 years. So you need 125,000 today. That would be the same as 100,000 in 2020. Okay. First of all. Second of all, a lot of people that I know that are on six figures that make 100,000 a year can't survive. And this is what you want. Depends on what you want. Can't survive a good life with their wife at home. So one income, 100,000 a year. It's hard to make a good living, like a crazy living. But you can do things, but you're still gonna think about money. You're gonna still worry about paying some bills or coming up with money to go vacation, or you may go to one vacation instead of 3 vacations, right? And so the truth is, can you look up what we need to live, Gio?
To do what?
Like just how much income we need in a year to go on 3 vacations and enjoy life.
That's all excessive.
But listen.
You don't need that.
But I'm asking.
Genuinely.
But here's the thing.
Tax free. Okay, maybe 80K. It will be down to 60, whatever.
Okay, but my thing is, you have to decide.
It's all individual.
Exactly. You have to decide what you want out of your life.
Yeah.
Do you want your wife to work, or do you don't mind it?
I'm not gonna answer it. You're directing. That's how you.
But I'm just saying. Hypothetical. Let's just say. Okay.
Viewers.
But let's just say hypothetical. No, I don't want my wife to work.
Yeah.
And so you have one income. And so one income at 60,000 remaining, you're not gonna make a good living, homie. Because you're gonna pay $2,500. You're gonna pay $2,500. Let's just say rent and bills. You rent and utilities $2,500. Let's do some math. $2,500 times 12. You're already at $30,000. $2,500 with rent and utility. That's pretty damn cheap, right or wrong?
Yep.
That's $30,000 remaining. How much you gonna spend on food? $1,000 a month?
I mean, depending on the kids.
So let's just say $1,000 a month. That's $12,000. You have $18,000 left.
Yep.
This is without gas. This is without clothes. This is without school expenses. Without after school expenses. Let's just say you go to one vacation.
I think you can still make it work.
Let's say you go to one vacation. You spend $5,000. You have $13,000 left. Now you spend $3,000 a year on gas. Now you have $10,000. Now you spend $2,500 on clothes. Now you have $7,500.
So you don't need to spend $2,500
on clothes.
Yeah,
that's nothing, bro. For your wife, shit.
That's what I'm saying. you keep on. That's the thing. People keep on want to live a modern life.
You don't have to live in, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I did simple.
Survive,
I'm doing
bro.
simple math.
It's all managed.
I understand.
It's all management.
But what I'm telling you is, okay, even at 60,000, you have to work 45 hours a week.
Doable.
You still have to work 45 hours a week minimum.
That's true.
Minimum.
That's true.
Right? And so it depends on the lifestyle that you want. Yeah. And how many kids you want. If you want 8, 10 kids, guess what? 60K, 100K ain't cutting it. It ain't happening. It's just not gonna happen.
Yep. But I'm for the people who think who wants or needs to live like that, you don't have to. You can survive on a bare minimum.
You can't survive. You said the word. Survive. We shot this episode. Surviving.
Or live comfortable.
Surviving or living life. There's a difference. Okay, but
people just have bad management.
Thrive. That's it. So I'm of the mindset, live your life. You're here only a short time. Like, I'm not trying to survive
Exactly.
This life.
You spent half of the years working your ass off, not creating memories, and then what?
But here's the thing.
You're creating.
But the difference is I gave away my youth to work so I can enjoy the rest of my life with my family.
There's a post that says, you're halfway right for a wealth where you're not even gonna experience most of it, where your grandkids gonna experience it, where they're just gonna use it up 3 generations down. So, what's for? You know what I mean? So
I understand, but I'm saying if you can plan it from a young age, right? I started working at a young age. I'm gonna give away 16, 17 years of my life so far, right? Because I have a goal. And when I hit that goal, guess what? You are not going to see me because I won't be working, right? Instead of working till I'm 60, 70. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, you don't have to do that. You don't, right?
I mean, yeah, to each other. I know. You don't have to.
You know?
Point it out.
Everybody has to do their own thing. Everybody's going to live their own life. But that's why I believe in working now. And and I see your point. You're not the only one that says that. Is enjoying life. It's a different way that you can enjoy life. Maybe my way is not to work as hard later on and to do whatever my wife wants or needs. Not even necessarily want. You can't do everything they want, but need. And let me go on 3 vacations a year. Let me go on 4 vacations a year. Right? Like I know a guy that he literally came from the streets. And now he takes his families on vacation. Everybody in his family. And he does it whenever he wants to. He's like, man, it really feels good to be able to do that. I really enjoy my hard work paid off. Right? That's all I want. I don't care about the Lamborghinis. I don't care about the Ferraris. I don't care about the mega mansion. I don't care about Louis Vuitton. Like I don't care about all these things. I got simple clothes on. I'm a simple man. I just want to have a good life. That's it.
Yep, it's all.
And I want my family to have a good life. So I'm gonna pay the price now. Not everybody has to do that. Some people can live with the bare minimum and enjoy life. That's fine. I'm the one that came from working very hard for something and not having something growing up. When I was working, like I struggled. So it's like, I don't want that.
Yeah. I mean, but you
want to live in a mansion, Gio? What's your goal, your financial goals?
I want to have a goal. Actually, I talked about my goals on the last podcast.
Oh.
But at the end of the day, guys, like I want to have a nice villa, right? I want to have my low riders. I want to be bouncing on them, right?
Oh, villa? How much acre is that?
Man, if I did too many to count, right?
Oh, really?
I want to have a lot of acres, right? But look, At the end of the day, right? If you told me, would you rather have your villa, right, and have all these materialistic goals that you want, all these, but you lose jiu-jitsu and you lose all your friendships you created from jiu-jitsu, and you lose all the students you have, would you trade that? I would not trade that, because it doesn't matter how much material I have, it will the relationships that I've built through jiu-jitsu will not make me as happy, and I will not have a purpose. It doesn't matter how much. Yeah, I'll get used to the villa. You'll get used to the lowrider. All the material stuff, you'll get used to it, right? You get used to nice clothes, but you will not get used to the lack of friendship, to the lack of happiness, to your lack of purpose.
I mean, it's something to think about, you know. Some little to add a thing like, if it's all dependent on goals, like you said. If you want to be financially free, like me and Chris actually had a conversation about that. We do actually want to be financially free, so of course we're gonna have to work our butt off for that. But you know, something to think about, like, what's the reason for this? You know, you just can't say, "Oh, I want to be rich." Why? Are you gonna live a purposeful life from it? Are you gonna be happy from it? A lot of people we know that are rich aren't happy. So why are you doing it? Don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Do it because it's you, or you want to do it. You want to get rich because you want to live a certain lifestyle, a certain goal you want to reach for your family, for yourself. Not because you're just doing it just because society is showing it to you. You know what I mean? Because people are showing, hey, look, this Bugatti I got. Does that what make you happy? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm just saying.
You coming from a right angle.
But my thing is, can you have it all? Do you believe you can have it all?
I mean, like, what's like having it all?
Like, can you have the purpose? Can you have a purpose-driven life? And can you have material? Or do you have to sacrifice either or?
I think you can have it all. But I have an unrealistic mindset.
Yeah.
Right? You can find your purpose, and through your purpose, you can achieve other things.
But
what is my purpose?
You can't have your youth, though, right?
My youth will be gone, right? So yeah, I guess in that aspect, I see what you're getting. I see what you're getting. No, you will have to pay a price. So when you pay the price, you sacrifice something.
I think you can have it all. I think you can travel and work at the same time. I think you can make memories with me, but you know, you choose not to. hey, yesterday, hey, what'd you say before we trade at before? I said I trade at 11 a.m.
What did I say?
You gonna trade with me?
No. For you to achieve a lot, you have to sacrifice a lot. Mm-hmm. And so you're not going to get everything. But again, guys, like I'm just obsessed with this whole thing is we are going to pay the price one day, whether we like it or not. In happiness and sorrow and sadness and regret, your wife, your kids, somebody's paying the price. It's only a matter of time. So as a man, why not try to create a life that simplifies it for them? A life that they don't have to worry about. They don't have to fight a battle every day. They don't have to struggle every day. They don't have to wake up every day and figure out how they're gonna make money to eat or to pay the bills.
Now, granted,
will you fight for your friends too?
You know what's funny? I saw this reel. I'm like, what was the reel said? This meme. It said, I'm low key hoping my billionaire friends acting poor to test my loyalty.
I think we said one of us said that.
Did we send it to each other?
Yeah.
But look, but what do you say if you take that away from your child will not be a greater man than you because he didn't go through those trials and tribulations that made you hard, that made you the man that achieved success?
So yeah, yes and no. Why? Yes. For me, so yes and no. Having the experience, I can pass to my child. I went through the hardship. I became a jiu-jitsu black belt. I fought MMA. I lifted weights. I trained. I worked my butt off since I was 15 years old, 14 years old. So I know what it takes to create this. Now I can teach them from experience. But if you have not done nothing, if you have not created nothing, but you want to create a man out of your boy, it ain't happening. I'm looking at these kids by the thousands every year. It ain't happening. I look at the kid, I look at the father. He's a replica of the father. Now, I am taking away from my kid because my kid does not have to go sell shoes on the corner. It may sound crazy. Guess what I'm going to do when I have a kid? We go into the corner and we selling shoes. I'm going to do that with my kid.
In the hood?
In the hood, I'm going to do that.
You crazy.
I'll go to Hardman County. So it's the countryside, right? It's still not the safest, but it's still the country, right? I'm going to take my kid there and talk to him there about how I was here in the same exact spot and how I worked and how I struggled, and talk to him about the life lessons that I learned and show him what you can be here, and maybe bring him to the academy and let him see Gio. And let Gio talk to him about the hardships and see that I can be in an AC academy, a nice academy with all these good people, or I can be on the street getting called names. You can choose which life you want, right? But I can offer this to him because of experience, because of the hardships I went through. Most men can't teach their kids to become men because they lack experience, they lack knowledge. They have nothing to show for it. They have nothing to pass on. They live the easy life. And so again, I don't regret nothing of my past. I'm super grateful for it, and I'm willing to keep doing it because I can pass it on. Now, when it comes to literally doing the hardship of sitting outside by yourself in the hood on the corner, yeah, he's not going to experience that. But he's not going to have to experience that because he has somebody that can teach him. And I can make him do hard things in other aspects, like train jiu-jitsu at 6 a.m., be up at 4 a.m., work the farm, go take a shower, eat your breakfast, go to jiu-jitsu and train 6 a.m. Go teach a 6 a.m. class. You're going to teach a 6 a.m. class 5 days a week, not me. You're going to be teaching these classes. You're going to be running these businesses. You're going to pay the price if you fail the business. You're going to have to travel. You're going to have to go compete. You're going to have to coach, and you're going to have to compete. You're going to have to leave the competition and go work. So you're going to have a hardship, it's just in a different way. I'm not going to take the hardship away from them. They're going to have to feel it. But they're not going to have to feel it in a way that you sink or you swim. That's a feeling that, trust me, you don't want to feel. Where you either sink or you swim. I have to make it happen. From a young age, that was my mindset, is I have to make it happen. I don't have a choice.
You think there will be there will be a better version of you though? Because instead of, like, for example, I see it as a level. Like with your story, you started at level 1, which is selling shoe in the corner and stuff. If you skip level 1 to 10 with your child, he'll start at level 10, right? So let's say you start at level 1, reach to level 100. That's because you're older now. You stop at level 100. But you let your child to skip to level 1 to 10. He started at 10. Now he's at 110. You know what I mean?
So the way I put it is, what I learned in 30 years, I'm going to teach it to you in a year. Okay?
Exactly.
So instead of me taking 20 years to go from level 1 to level 10, it's going to take him 5 years.
Yeah, so he'll be a better version.
You know what I'm saying? So God willing, my only job is to have a better version of me. Right? If I didn't do that, I didn't do my job.
You see, Lil Bang gonna kick Lil Mo butt though.
That's what you think.
Lil Gio tickle your rap though.
That's what you think, cuz.
You have your kid in side control.
My game, Baron and hop on that back.
We'll see, cuz.
But that's the whole point. And so you can't do that for your child if you didn't do it yourself, is what I believe. You're gonna have a hard time, right? Now, I'm not gonna hide the hardships. My kid will face hardships. But because I know how to get out of the hardships, he's going to learn a little quicker way to get out of the hardships. Or if this is what you want, let's get to this. If you're at point A and you want to get to point B or point Z, let me show you how fast we can get to point Z. Instead of it taking 10 years, let's do it in 2 years. Because of experience, right? Experience is something that you can't just pick up like this and not go through it. You have to go through it to get experience. And if you have experience, money can't buy that. Money cannot buy that. Okay? And you need experience to pass on.
It's kind of like you said on your post, how you expect your kid to do hard things when you don't even do hard things yourself. I mean, you posted that, didn't you? That was tough.
It's crazy, man. And this all came from the topic of the rich people of society and everything. I think from a religious perspective, you should give back. I think if God blesses you, you should bless people back. Because the same way that God gave it to you, he could take it back. You know? And but
wait, hold on. So if God bless If God blessed me to get rich, why God not blessing the other people to get rich too? Why do I have to be?
Maybe he's testing you to see what you do with your money and your fame.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's true.
Maybe
Morally speaking,
maybe he's also testing them with no money.
But using that logic though, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Because everybody's different. Money's amplifier. Maybe if he gives you money, you're gonna be a piece of shit and not give it back. Maybe you become a drug addict. Maybe you hookers and cocaine. And shit, it does happen to some people. But
Money is an amplifier.
But should billionaires even exist in this world? Like, the thing, do you think there's such thing as you can become a billionaire without other people having to be exploited? Like, for example, many billionaires, like, they have workers in China, and the workers in China are fucking working in a workshop, in a sweatshop, you know? So do you think you can become a billionaire without somewhere down the line somebody was exploited?
It's hard to say that because Jeff Bezos is a prime example where he became a billionaire but also create millions of jobs. So I mean,
I think
he's one of the example.
A lot of his products also come from China, which has sweatshop labor.
I believe in one way or another.
That's just a business move.
Yeah,
One's cheaper, one is not.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Well, that's just a business move. Is it moral?
That's not moral.
I mean, here's the thing, right? We can play both devil's advocate, right?
That's what you're worth. If the Chinese people think they worth, if the Chinese worker believe, if the Chinese people worth, like, hey, I feel like my service is only $5.
This guy.
Then who you gonna pick? In Mo service, I believe it's $10. Okay, I agree. Your worth is $10. I'm just gonna go with the $5 because he worth that.
So,
You know what I mean?
so let's say if you find out that they made that new breed shirt, right, that you have on, was made by a slave, would you still buy it for $5?
No,
Why not?
because I don't support their message.
But it's like the same thing. You don't.
But slave work for free. Well, not is it like slave don't get paid.
Yeah.
So I don't support that.
But what are these people getting paid of like a slave wage in that motherfucker? They're basically like.
There's no such thing as a wage. I mean, there's a thing called modern slave, but in term of definition, there's no slave now because everybody getting paid for it. If you're not happy with what you're getting paid for, then leave. But if people stay, that means you're okay with what you get paid for.
I think like Apple had people they were living in the factory too. They even had nets to catch these people. That's how fucked up it is. They had nets outside the apartments to catch people when they tried to kill themselves. So you couldn't jump off and kill yourself. Yeah, Apple, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is for real.
Is this a troll or they?
No,
I might have to go to Galaxy, cuz.
This is hilarious, bro. Apple, they had a bunch of nets to catch people trying to jump off and kill themselves because they were working in there. Like they couldn't leave the grounds of the factory. But whatever.
In China or in America?
In China, not in America. But
well, that's the thing. That's different.
But do you think you can be a billionaire and be ethical?
So this is what I'm gonna say.
Can be.
I say somewhere along the line, whether you catch it or aware or not aware, or you want to lie to yourself about it.
I'm trying to catch all my life.
I think somewhere along the line, you're gonna exploit somebody. Whether you want to be true, right? I hope to never ever do this, right? Somewhere down the line, you're gonna do it. Whether you catch it or you ignore it, it's gonna happen. I think that's just the cycle of life. Nah, but you got to look at it the other way. Is okay. It's sad. It's wrong. Yeah, wrong is a tough thing, right? It's a big word. But
Slavery's not wrong?
No, of course is wrong. But it's not necessarily slavery if they agree to it.
Yeah.
If they agree to it, they agree to it. You can ask me to teach you, right? Or to sell you this table. This table is $1,000. How much are you gonna offer me for this table?
Whatever I want.
Just give me a very low number.
$100.
Give me $100. All right, go. I go over here. I get cussed out by the owner. I made the decision, not you. Here's $5 an hour. Okay. They're not gonna make $5 an hour nowhere. Now, is it necessarily the most ethical? Not necessarily, because maybe minimum wage is $7.25, but I'm still paying them $5. right? And so it depends. But at the same time, I do, to be honest, to be frank, somewhere down the line, you're going to exploit somebody. Now, is it right? No, it's not right.
Well, no.
But at the same time, how much money you're going to put out there to help the economy, to help somebody one way or another?
Both parties export each other. Just like, for example, if I'm working for you, I'm exploring you because you're giving me job.
That's the way to look at it.
You know what I mean? And it's like everybody export each other for their own benefit.
You exploiting Amazon, bro? You working at Amazon? You exploiting Amazon?
Yeah, they're paying me.
Or they getting more out of you than you getting out of them.
It's all ratio to the party benefits.
I agree, right? But there's a level to it.
Amazon's paying $18 an hour.
I think so.
Amazon's paying $18 an hour. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Amazon's paying you $18 an hour, and they working your ass like a donkey. You ain't no breaks, right? You might get a 30-minute lunch break. And so what happens is, $18 an hour, nobody paying $18 an hour. I'm going to be frank with you. Nobody paying $18 an hour, okay? Now, I'm getting mistreated.
Which is another problem.
What is another problem. I'm getting mistreated, this and that, whatever it is. Oh, they're exploiting everybody. Well, everybody's going there because nobody's paying $18 an hour, and nobody wants to do the work needed to make the $18 an hour. That's the problem. And so they're going to talk a lot about Amazon. Now, I'm not standing up for Amazon. Amazon probably is doing a lot of effed up things, right? Because the other effed up thing that we got to think about, which is the future, they're gonna cut most of those people for robots and AI.
Yep.
Most of those people are gonna be gone.
I mean, a lot of people complaining about that stuff, and then they don't realize that they're not grateful for what they have.
And that's my other part of the situation. Like, you're not getting 18 nowhere else, so you run over to Amazon, and then you get upset that you have to work that hard for $18 an hour, but you're not gonna make $18 an hour. So you're gonna bash the company, and I'm not saying they're not doing wrong things, but I'm just saying at that specific moment, this is a job. You work this warehouse. It's hot as hell in the warehouse. You get $18 an hour. And the good thing about it is you can work as much as you want. Amazon don't make you only work 40 hours. Sometimes they give you 60 hours. Sometimes they give you 50 hours.
Yeah. What is the thing? Luckily in America, we got the freedom of choice, right? For the most part. Because really, you're not free until you get financial freedom, you know? Free to do for most whatever you want. But anyway, that's a whole nother can. But like the people in China, a lot of times their bags are swell. They have no option but to go there, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe when they're living, there's only that one place and this is the only place you can work. Maybe they don't even have the means to go somewhere else. For most people, obviously there's going to be an outlier who will do it different. But the thing is like, whatchamacallit? It's like, do you think, right? Like, right now in this country, right, there's this thing called like the Great Melt-Up. So right now is the biggest transfer of wealth ever. So from the bottom is a vacuum to the fudging top. So all the money is running to the top. So now 1% of the population like holds more wealth than like 99% of the population. Like, do you think that's a problem? Or do you think tough shit, that's how life is? And honestly, that's how life has been for the most part. There was kings and then there was the peasants. There was one king and there was peasants, the royal family, and everybody else was a peasant. Like, do you think that's just how life is and that's just the natural cycle of humans? Or do you think we should be evolved past that shit?
I think this is everywhere. Gorillas, the jungle, that lion is gonna kill that gazelle and he's only gonna share it with his pack. That's it. You don't get nothing else, homie. Right? Now, 1%, and I've watched a video on this the other day about how 1% has like 90% of the wealth, something like that, some crazy number, right? This is what I believe. I do believe. Okay, I was born and raised in America, but my dad came as an immigrant. He left Palestine to make a living. A lot of these people are coming from a different country to make a living here. That's what the American dream is. Now, not everybody's cut out to become a millionaire and billionaire. But just because little Johnny's not cut out to be a millionaire or billionaire, you ain't gonna take that from me, bro. Right? And because of these 10,000 billionaires, trillionaires, they put their money together and it equates more than a population. It's because this is what this life does to you. This is what life does to you. Life is hard. Life is a war itself. Life itself, by itself. No wife, no kids. Just you by yourself is a battle. So imagine you have a wife to take care of. You have kids to take care of. You have a house. You have bills. You have all this. That's a big war. And so most people go back to the same thing, routine. Now again, you don't have to be a billionaire, but you don't have to make me not a billionaire.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a millionaire, but you can't take it away from me. I've slaved 16 years. I'm still doing it. And you're gonna come and tell me that I can't be that, and that's what I'm trying to be? Because you think I don't deserve it? Bro, I've worked more than you've worked your whole life put together. In the last 16 years, I've done more hours of work than more hours you've been alive. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna argue with me? And you're gonna question me? Now, this is the other side of it. Now, a lot of these guys are a piece of shit. I will say that. A lot of them are. A lot of them are supporting Israel and giving all this money to kill innocent people. A lot of these people are funding all these bad, negative things. Right? Now, yeah, I think you should go to hell. If you have all this wealth and you're not doing nothing good with it, yeah, you go to hell, and I don't think you should be a billionaire. This is the problem, is when you get rich, a lot of these people, not all of them, I know some very generous people. A lot of people that get rich are attached to richer. Money's not enough. And so they're greedy. And because they're greedy, they're not helping. Right? Help people with that money. You can't take it with you. I can't take $1 billion with me to the grave. Hey, bury it next to me. I can't take it with me.
Yeah.
I can't take it to heaven and try to buy things in heaven. Right? So what are you doing with all of that? You should do something. If anything, build more business, hire more people, build charities, build orphanages, build schools, build something with it. Do something with it. Right? That's the other part of it. Both sides of it is you don't get to complain about not having the money because you can work. And the other point, you can't try to take it from somebody else. Now, we can say what we feel about it. I think they should do more good with it. You know?
Now, granted, you said, like, on the flip side of that, right?
More good, but when is enough?
There's never enough.
That's what I'm saying.
The human nature is never
but
enough.
here's the thing. You're saying that you should put a cap.
I never said that shit.
No, I'm hypothetically, not you. You should put a cap on how much you make. Not you. On how much you make, but you should also do a lot more good. So what's the balance? Because I think,
what people want is they want the money spread among the people and nobody's rich.
What's the thing though? I think the money shouldn't be spread, right? It shouldn't be spread because what you earn, you've earned it, right? What you earn, you earn. Because if I earn some shit, I don't want it to be taken away. But I don't think it should also be to a point where you're either gonna be and it's like black and white. You either got the money or you're a fucking peasant. I don't think it should be that way either. I think we should be able to be evolved past that, past all the centuries ago where it was only kings and peasants. And in today's age, actually the middle class it's only been like less than 100 years since that's been the thing. The middle class, this is a less than 100 year experiment.
Well, they say the middle class don't exist no more.
Well, that's another can of whoop ass, right? But this is the thing though, right? It's like, so you said not just because you're not cut out to be a millionaire means I can't be one, right? Now, granted, let's say Johnny's not cut out to be a millionaire. Should Johnny be a peasant if he's not cut out to be a millionaire?
That's his choice.
No, I'm talking about there's no option, right? There's either there's two options. You can either be a millionaire or a peasant. And not everybody can be a millionaire. Not everybody's cut out. So if you're not cut out, right? Should you be a peasant?
But you don't have to be a peasant. You can be a little bit above a peasant.
No, but that's what we're leading to. We're leading to you're either peasant or you got money in this country.
See, you better figure out a way to make money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right? Granted, right? You got to, right now, and I'll listen to the motivation, right? It's by Dan Pena, right? It was right now is the biggest transfer of wealth there's ever been in history, right? And your grandkids are going to tell you, Grandpa, what did you do in the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of humankind? What did you do, Grandpa? You didn't do shit but stay home, right? It was like, you piece of shit. Yeah, imagine you could have done something for your family, right? But it's like, also, what we're leading to, do you think it's okay where, like, if you don't win, either you win major or you lose major? Do you think that's okay, though? I don't think it's okay. We're like, you're the king or you're the peasant. I think you should be able to be in the middle, you know? And if you can excel to become a millionaire, that's awesome. If you can excel to be a billionaire, that's awesome. But at least there should be a way to get up there. Now we're fucking, the ladder's cut off.
What way are you talking about to look for?
What do you mean?
Like you said, you're asking a way for you to for people to get to become a millionaire. Name a specific way that you're or people you think that are asking for.
Shit, you can
What do I have? What do he have that I don't have access to? My brother.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, though, right? There's less money circulating among the general population because so much money is shooting up to the top. And a lot of times with the money in the top, right? Mm-hmm. They hold it. They don't spend it. They don't, like I said, like open charities, open buildings, like create more jobs. A lot of times they just hold the money, and it circulates on the top, but it doesn't come down. It doesn't trickle down to the general economy.
So it's just the money. That's what it is. Is people asking for, or are they asking for opportunity? Which one is it?
It's the opportunity to make the money.
That's something is weird because I sense what Mo can do to create business that is all there.
Yes, right now.
Knowledge is there because so the advice that he's giving already, he's basically giving you a footprint. People can just do what he's doing it and get rich. Why aren't they doing it?
Well, this we talked about it with Johnny, right?
But there's so many videos on YouTube that will tell you how to get rich, the things to get away around taxes, all that stuff.
Well,
it's there.
No, look, this is what I'm getting at, right? It's listen, we talked to Mr. Johnny. You listen to the podcast, right? What did Mr. Johnny say about the American dream? He said, in today's age, it's harder to achieve the American dream. He said that. Remember, he said that. And if anybody can talk about the American dream, it's him, right? And he said it. So, do you think it's harder or easier now for young people to buy a house? Do you think it's harder or easier for young people to buy a house in today's age?
No. We're talking about how people can get rich, and you're hypothetically, you said we need a way. What way are you specifically looking for to get rich? Not about a house. If you're saying, hey, we need people to get money, well, find a job, get the money to get a house. But to get rich, what way, what specific way are you looking for to get rich? There's all planet, the opportunity that he has to get rich. I think in my eyes, he's rich. That I can do the same thing.
Not rich, bro.
I'm just messing with him. Well, Dr. Johnny, if Dr. Johnny can just come and tell me what to any of us, or even Mo, like what he did, what he do, he could do the same thing, and he'll get to say rich.
So that's my point. Is not how, right? The thing is, right now in America, right now, 2025, right, the year of our Lord. Can you become rich? Can you make the American dream happen? Yes, you can. Right? Yes, you can. But it goes back to this shows you where we're heading to in this country. Can young people nowadays afford a house like the past generations? Is it easier for them or harder for them?
I think that's a different topic then.
No, it's still about the situation.
No, you can. It's
no. Just say, is it harder or easier for young people to afford a house?
So what I'm understanding is that there's no money for them to even buy the asset. Is that what you're saying? Because there's no money going down.
There's not that there's no money. There's not enough money circulating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's not enough money circulating down back towards for them to even.
If you ask me, bro.
And I'm like, how? What you mean, work?
This is extreme, right?
Every single person in our generation can buy a house. Will not buy a house.
Not everybody can.
Forever renters.
Listen, that is true.
But anyone can. Not everybody can, but anyone can, right?
Yeah, that's it. What you said, that's it. Anyone can. Anyone can, bro. You can't convince me otherwise. They are holding the money up here. But the money is still in this country for the most part, because some of them are putting it in offshore accounts, but we're not going to talk about that. But the money is in this country. They're printing it day in, day out. Now, there's a difference between the high achiever, the black belt, and the white belt. The black belt did the work for a long time. The problem that we have with our generation, not my generation, I'm not counting myself in this. The next generation after me, the young folks, they're not willing to go through the shit, through hard times, put in the work for a long period of time. If you're 18 years old right now, you can buy a house. Are you willing to work 75, 80 hours a week right now at 18 years old? Or start at 16, 17? Are you willing to do it? The answer is no. The answer is no. Are you going to be able to work 75 hours a week? Do you have a woman next to you at 19, 20, 21, 25 years old that's going to shut up and stand with you and let you work 75 hours a week and you have a child at home? The answer is no. For the most part, it's going to be no. She's going to be whining. You're going to be stressed out. 75 hours is going to be too much for you. You can't work 75 hours. You can't make the money. Guess what? You're going to have to rent a house and shut your mouth. But if you can man up and work 75 hours at $15 an hour, let's just do simple math. 75 hours at $15 an hour, that's $1,100 a week. Time 4, that's $4,500 a month. Time 12, it's $54,000. Okay? That's still going to be hard to make a living with before taxes. That's 75 hours a week. We're not talking side jobs. Now, this is extreme mindset. I'll get my ass on the lawnmower and start going cutting grass for cash. Let me make an extra $200 a week or $300 a week. That's that's $1,200 a month. That's another $4,000 or $5,000 a year. Let me make that. Nobody has this mindset. You can make it happen, bro. Now it's almost impossible, but you can make it happen.
I agree. You can make it happen. But look how hard you got to work your ass off, right? But what I'm bringing awareness to is like, at the end of the day, can you make it happen? Yes. How do you make it happen? You sharpen the motherfucking sword, right? Economically, mentally, physically. It all stacks together. You'll get there, right? And you full faith in that. But the thing is, right? This is more like society as a country. Like, back then, motherfuckers did not have to work that hard to buy a house, to open up a business. Nowadays, you got to fight tooth and nail just to get what the previous generation got. A single home income, right? Who do you know can afford a one income family household? And if somebody's doing that, guess what? That dude's doing pretty well off. What regular Joe you know with a regular job? Not one, right? And that's what I'm saying. That's what the problem is in the country, is that's no longer existent. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're fudging off of food stamps or whatever, getting government assistance. But that's no longer in this country. And honestly, right, you know what? That's a big awareness. That shit is no longer here. So guess what you should do? Well, you need to pick the gears up and make it happen before it's gone. Because you're running out of time, right? You're like you said, I don't have time. People say, I don't have time to get better. Well, I don't have time. I'm running out of time to get better. Mm-hmm. You got to shift gears. Because the reality is, there's people that are hopeful about this country, right? And I'm hopeful about this country, right? The greatest country. But there's people that are just blindly thinking that if you say anything criticizing this country, you fudging to get out of here. But how about you stop being a dumbass? And fudging, if there's a fire, put out the fire.
Yeah.
You know, the reality is, at this age, it's harder for young people. But that's why you need to grow harder. I'm not saying cry about it. I'm saying you got to recognize that it's harder for young people. So you just got to go harder.
I agree. Powerful. And that's where we're going to wrap up, guys, right there. Gio left it on a strong point. Episode 56, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The round table with Ben Wynn. Thank you for coming on, Ben. Gio, the number one co-host. Thanks for always adding some spice to it. Throwing some gas on the fuel. Guys, like always, please share, like, comment, subscribe to us. Share with your friends. Our biggest goal, guys, is to really just change things up for you guys, the mindset for the better, and to let you really understand where we're coming from, right? Everything in life starts off with sharpening the sword. If you can't sharpen the sword, you can forget about everything else. If you can't do it every day, forget about it, guys. Self-development, self-improvement on a daily basis. Sharpen your sword for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for your country. And I'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.